In the heart of Xyloria, beneath swirling colors and glowing skies, Xylox stood poised at the apex of his world, a realm of precision and cold logic where the elite assassins reigned supreme. The Academy of Assassins thrummed with anticipation as he prepared for his next mission. He was the product of years of rigorous training, sculpted from birth to embody lethal efficiency. His bioluminescent skin shimmered like starlight, reflecting the vibrant energy around him. Today was different. Today he had been summoned by the Council of Elders, an honor reserved for the finest, but the echo of doubt cast a shadow over his triumph. "Your target is Emma Carter," the lead elder announced, the holographic projection hovering in the air, showing the fierce woman with striking features and piercing green eyes. A human, a detective known for her cunning and resourcefulness. Xylox's analytical mind whirred with confusion. A human? He had never stepped beyond the boundaries of his own world to face one. "What makes her a threat?" he questioned, intrigue mingling with skepticism. "The implications of her investigations threaten the stability of our dealings. You must eliminate her quickly, without remorse," the elder said, his eyes narrowing with expectation. He felt the weight of the mission settling over him, but before he could respond, the council dismissed him with a wave of their hands. As he exited, the mentor, an ancient Xylorian with wisdom etched into his features, stepped forward, eyes glinting with something akin to concern. "Xylox, heed my warning. Humanity is unpredictable," he cautioned, his grip firm on Xylox's shoulder. "They are driven by emotions that you are ill-prepared to confront. When you meet her, you're in for more than just a mission. You will face complexities that will challenge your training." Xylox nodded, though the thrill of the hunt ignited a spark of curiosity within him. With every word of the mentor, he felt a dissonance, an intrigue simmering just beneath the surface. He would adapt and overcome. That was in his nature. But the sudden sense of empathy caused a flicker of confusion in his mind. What was it about this human that evoked such a storm? He cast one last glance at the familiar surroundings of Xyloria before embarking on the mission that would change everything. With a brilliant flash, Xylox's warp pod pierced through dimensions, finally landing silently on the rooftop of a skyscraper in the heart of an incandescent city. As he stepped outside, he was immediately engulfed by a symphony of sounds and lights that flooded his senses. Earth was a chaotic collage of noise, color, and movement, utterly unlike the calculated silence of Xyloria. The air was thick with scents, food vendors lining the streets, vibrant laughter from distant corners, and the occasional shouts of street merchants. Despite his training, Xylox felt overwhelmed. He cautiously emerged onto the street, an observer in an alien world, and instinctively melted into the crowd, assessing his surroundings. People rushed past him in a dance of humanity, some lost in their thoughts, others hurried on with their lives. He drank in the sights, a child giggling, a couple embracing, a businessman barking into a communicator. It was all so vivid, so raw. He pushed aside the din of chatter to focus on his mission. His enhanced senses honed in on the rhythm of life surrounding him, scanning for his target, Emma Carter. The realization struck him. Humanity thrived on chaos, on emotional connections that energized their very existence, and he had to figure out why she was a threat. As he moved through the crowd, he finally caught sight of Emma. There she was, her commanding presence cutting through the murmurs of the city, engaged in a passionate discussion with her colleagues outside a precinct. Xylox studied her, intrigued by the way she gestured emphatically, her determination evident in every motion. His mind raced with conflicting thoughts. Why was she deemed a target? He noticed how the laughter of children reverberated around her, how her intensity seemed to captivate more than just her immediate colleagues. Xylox felt his heartbeat quicken, but he shook off the sensation. No. Humans were weak, he reminded himself. Emotions made them vulnerable, and vulnerability was a target. Just then, a dark figure drew his attention from across the street. Xylox felt the wave of danger, the shadows coalescing around the alley where Emma stood. Without thought, his body surged into motion, adrenaline instantly amplifying his senses. As night fell, Emma Carter finished her shift at the precinct, shadows lengthening around her. "What do we have next, Detective?" her partner Frank teased, leaning against her desk, eyeing the scattered case files littering the surface. "More work, I'm sure." She sighed and brushed her fingers through her hair, weary yet determined. But something nagged at her, a prickly sensation at the back of her neck, as if someone were following her. "Hey, Emma, lighten up." Frank chuckled, but she caught the shift in his demeanor, his gaze darting toward the window. Suddenly, a captivating silhouette caught her eye, the enigmatic alien figure she had seen earlier, clad in dark clothing, observing from a distance. The memories of their last encounter swept back, igniting a kaleidoscope of questions in her mind. What did he want? Was he truly here to harm her? Was it a joke? Or was he part of something deeper? Emma couldn't shake the feeling. Without hesitation, she stepped outside, approaching him carefully. "You," she stated, her voice firm, cutting through the nighttime air. "Who are you and what do you want?" Xylox hesitated, assessing her with those multifaceted eyes. "I am here to protect you," he said, the urgency hanging in the air. "Protect me. From what? Are you for real?" Emma's skepticism flared as she faced him, poised and ready for anything. The intensity of his presence sent chills racing down her spine. Before he could answer, a commotion erupted behind them. Gunshots echoed through the streets. Xylox's instincts surged. "They've come," he growled, his voice a low rumble. The shadows swirling in the alley coalesced into a deadly crew of armed thugs, advancing toward them with malicious intent. "No!" Emma shouted, adrenaline flooding her veins as she instantly grabbed a nearby trash can lid, prepared to defend herself. With a fluid motion, Xylox surged forward, disarming one thug effortlessly and knocking him to the ground. Emma followed suit, her instincts kicking in, swinging her makeshift shield and taking down another. "You fight well," Xylox shouted in tandem with her movements, sheer thrill igniting within them both. "I've only just started," she quipped, delivering a roundhouse kick that sent yet another assailant sprawling. As shouts and adrenaline mingled in the air, the two of them danced through the chaos, their skills merging into a whirlwind of intense energy and visceral combat. The violent clash subsided abruptly, leaving breathless silence in the aftermath. Xylox and Emma stood shoulder to shoulder, the last thug crumpled on the ground, breathing heavily and eyes wide in disbelief. "Why did you jump in like that?" Emma asked, panting and brushing dirt off her hands. "You could have run away." "Shadows linger and danger never rests," Xylox replied, returning to Emma's side, subtly proud of their teamwork. "You have strength, and it would be wasteful to let it go unprotected." Emma's heart flickered at his words. "Not many would think of me as a protected target, especially not an alien," she remarked, with a mixture of disbelief and piqued interest. But beneath the banter lay an acknowledgement. They had, against all odds, formed an unlikely alliance in this chaotic urban setting. As they retreated to the relative safety of her office, Emma quickly formulated a plan. "We need to figure out why they're coming after me. It's got to be connected to that case I was working on." Xylox listened attentively, his keen sense of analysis absorbing her every word. "You're not merely an assignment," he said slowly, weighing his thoughts. "You offer humanity something unique. Knowledge." She shook her head, the realization settling like dust after a storm. "You really see a lot in us, don't you? But here's the kicker. I'm no different than anyone else. I just try to do my job." But Xylox gave her a penetrating look, something exposing vulnerability in his gaze. "You have compassion that is rare. You fight, not just for yourself, but for others. I am beginning to understand the purpose behind such bonds." "Purpose," Emma repeated, contemplating the conundrum they faced. "Maybe that's what drew you to me. You're not just a killer. You're a seeker, like me." "Perhaps," Xylox acknowledged, a newfound respect weaving through their conversation, binding them in ways he never anticipated. But as the shadows began to creep in again, urgency replaced reflection. "We have to act fast," Emma urged. "I can't wait until they come here for me again." Just then, a chilling notification pinged on her phone, a warning about a fresh wave of threats bombarding her location. Xylox's gaze hardened. "Stay alert. We may need to fight again." Their voices intertwined, merging certainty with trepidation, as they braced for the next wave of danger, threatening to engulf them once more. Xylox and Emma moved quickly through the dimly lit corridors of the precinct, navigating the underbelly of the building with heightened senses. The energy between them crackled, a mingling of fear and determination that drew them closer amidst the chaos. "I've got a plan," Emma declared, her voice steadier than she felt. "We can use the underground tunnels to make our way to a safe house. They won't be expecting that." "This is wise," Xylox agreed, his alien instincts kicking in. "We can analyze the gathered intel and prepare for what lies ahead." They descended into the tunnels beneath the city, the air thick with dampness as shadows slithered into corners. It was a labyrinth designed to conceal, offering respite from the chaos above. "Think about what we've gone through, Xylox," Emma mused, a flicker of curiosity weaving through her mind. "You arrived aiming to kill me, and now here we are, trying to figure out how to keep me alive." "Change is inevitable." He paused, meeting her gaze with an intensity that sent shivers down her spine. "A mission is not always about assassination. It can also become about protection." Emma chuckled, a hint of amusement lighting her expression, but there was a sense of sincerity that enveloped them. "You really are saying I'm worth protecting? You've got it bad for humans, alien." "It is not a matter of desire," Xylox replied, struggling to articulate something he had never felt before. "I find value in your existence, your passion, even the complexity of your struggles." As they settled into a small alcove within the tunnels, illuminated by the faint light of Xylox's device, Emma laid out the scattered data they had gathered. "If we decipher this, we might uncover the operation behind the threats," she declared, her resolve stronger than ever. Xylox studied the documents with keen precision, connecting the dots. "Your mind operates at an extraordinary level, Detective. I find this intriguing." "Just doing what I do best, solving puzzles," Emma shot back, pride swelling her chest even amidst the surrounding danger. But that pride was short-lived as they heard the vibrations of approaching footsteps. Panic surged through Emma as she glanced at Xylox. "They're closing in." Xylox nodded, muscles taut, prepared for the fight. "We must act swiftly and efficiently, together." "What do you mean together?" Emma replied, heart racing. "We've already taken on a gang. We're not invincible." "Together means relying on each other's strengths," Xylox responded, locking eyes with her. "I will protect what matters to you, and you must trust in your own power." Emma took a deep breath, feeling the pulse of determination unite them. "Okay, let's do this, together." With renewed energy, they stepped into the shadows, ready to unleash everything they had fought to protect. Their newfound alliance forged stronger under the weight of impending danger. As the footsteps grew louder, threatening to engulf them, Xylox and Emma took up defensive stances, locking eyes with unspoken determination. The darkness around them felt alive with tension, but they had each other, and that was something resilient. "I'll create a distraction," Emma whispered, steadying her breath, her heart pounding. "You take the lead." Xylox trusted her instincts, staying vigilant as Emma dashed to the shadows, creating a ruckus as they approached the opening ahead. The thugs' voices became louder, filled with ridicule and intent as they shouted out commands, failing to notice what was about to unfold. As the first thug appeared in the opening, Xylox launched into action, his movements fluid and decisive. He disarmed the nearest attacker in a single motion, leaving the thug reeling, then turned to fend off the next, his science-defying agility almost hypnotic. Emma darted in from the side, her own skills blending seamlessly with Xylox's otherworldly precision. She struck with calculated skill, using her environment to create openings and maneuvers, the thrill of combat igniting a primal exhilaration in her skin. "This is incredible," she shouted, adrenaline coursing through her veins as they brushed against one another in a dance of survival. Every kick, punch, and movement drew them closer, a bond thickening with every shared breath of battle. Xylox felt a surge of pride as he fought alongside Emma, the intensity of their connection sharpening his focus. "Your resolve is inspiring," he said, catching another thug in the stomach and throwing him into a crate. "And what about you?" Emma grinned, her laughter ringing out as she dodged a vicious swipe and countered it with a swift, powerful kick, sending the thug sprawling. As the battle escalated, fists flew and bodies fell. The collaboration felt effortless, a display of trust woven by their unyielding commitment to one another. Yet in the midst of the chaos, a thought gripped Xylox's heart. This was no longer just a mission. "Xylox, behind you!" Emma called, as another thug charged him from behind. Without thinking, she dove, tackling Xylox forward into safety, as a lucky punch sent the thug crashing into a wall. Both landed roughly, but rolled back to their feet, adrenaline pulsing. "Why would you do that?" he asked, astonished by her selflessness. Emma grinned, eyeing her surroundings. "I don't know. Instinct? When you trust someone, you protect them." A powerful realization surged through him. He was becoming more than just an assassin. He was becoming a protector. "I understand now," Xylox murmured, catching his breath. "There is strength in protecting what we cherish." As they dispatched the last thug, panting and exhilarated, Xylox turned to Emma, their eyes locking in a moment of silent understanding. What had begun as a mission had evolved into something far more meaningful, a shared bond that transcended difference. "Together," Emma said softly, a spark of determination igniting anew, "we face whatever comes next." With their hearts in sync, they prepared to face the future, one challenge at a time, fueled by the strength of their newfound connection. With apprehension swirling in the air, Emma and Xylox emerged from the alleyway into the dawn light. The streets were eerily quiet, the chaotic energy of last night ebbing away, but they knew the danger was far from over. Their earlier victories had just been battles, but the war was still brewing in the shadows. "There's something sinister at play," Emma remarked as they walked. "They won't just let us go." Xylox nodded, his senses acute. "We must act before they strike again. The intel we uncovered could be our key to dismantling the organization after your life." As they returned to her office, Emma spread out a series of documents on her desk. "Here, this is what we managed to gather from the last attack. It points to a larger operation, one that's been recruiting for months." Xylox leaned closer, his sharp eyes scanning the data. "Their operations are covert. They've infiltrated multiple layers of the city. We must expose them." A plan began to form, their connection guiding the strategy. But as they examined the file, a chilling sound echoed through the streets, engines roaring and tires screeching, the unmistakable approach of vehicles. "They're back," Emma hissed, heart racing. "Now we prepare," Xylox said, shifting into a tactical stance. "No retreat this time." With heavy hearts but fierce determination, they waited for the thugs to emerge. As the first figure appeared, Xylox unleashed a flurry of strikes, his alien agility on full display. Every movement fluid and deliberate as he fought to protect Emma. She leaped into action, dodging alongside him, each movement a burst of precision fueled by adrenaline. The sheer exhilaration of combat coursed through her veins, and for the first time, the danger felt invigorating. "Together!" Emma shouted amidst the clatter of chaos, excitement knitting their bond tighter. "Always," Xylox replied, his combat precision amplifier in the heat of battle. Their synergy became a ballet of chaos. Emma's street-smart tactics melded with Xylox's otherworldly abilities. They countered strikes, using their environment to their advantage, knocking enemies off balance as they moved like shadows battling darkness. When one thug pulled a weapon, Xylox intercepted, deflecting the bullet at the last second, sending it careening into a wall. "You're too slow," he taunted with a smirk, a surge of thrill coursing through him as he embraced the dance of combat. With every thug they fought, Xylox began discovering what it truly meant to protect and to feel, emotions swelling and expanding in a way that was both terrifying and exhilarating. There was a flicker of humanity inside him awakening. He was no longer a mindless machine trained to eliminate targets. He was now a defender of life. Just then, a sudden surge of fresh attackers stormed in, surrounding them. "We need to hold them off," Emma shouted, pushing against the tide as they both fought bravely. Suddenly, one thug caught Emma off guard, charging her from the side. But Xylox reacted in an instant, launching himself to intercept, shouldering the charge and sending the thug crashing into a wall. "Get into position, Emma. We'll turn the tide." Xylox's voice was a calm anchor amidst the chaos as they quickly regrouped. They fought back, adrenaline singing in their veins, hearts synced in battle rhythm. Emma delivered the final strike to their attackers with a fierce kick, capturing Xylox's gaze as she struck the last blow together. 3 thugs lay sprawled at their feet, defeated. But the hard-earned triumph faded quickly as they exchanged knowing glances. The battle was far from over. "We have to know where this leads," Xylox said, a fire igniting deep within. "Together we can dismantle their plans. We have to fight for every life that matters." Emma nodded, resolve hardening in her chest. "We will end this, whatever it takes." As dawn broke over the city, Xylox and Emma emerged, triumph and exhaustion mingling within them. Bruised and weary, they wandered the streets that now felt infused with purpose and promise. Emma caught her breath, feeling the weight of what they had accomplished, pressing down on her. "We did it, Xylox. We really did it." "Yes, but it is merely the beginning. They will strike again." Xylox turned to her, the seriousness of his gaze sending warmth through her. "This feels different, Emma. You are more than a mission to me. I am drawn to protect your kind, and you specifically." Emma's heart raced. "You mean it? It's not just about the mission anymore?" Xylox stepped closer, his lips curling into a small, rare smile. "No. You have awakened something within me, something I thought was lost. Together, we must face whatever comes next." Through the alleys that linked their worlds, a community forged in the fires of adversity awaited them. "We may be from different worlds," Emma declared, a flicker of humor warming her words. "But we're in this together." Xylox nodded, unyielding determination radiating from him. "The bond we share is a strength to be reckoned with." As they prepared to face the uncertain future, a new flicker of excitement ignited within Emma at the potential for more adventures ahead. This journey was far from over, and she felt ready. "Let's go save humanity, one day at a time," Emma declared, a smile breaking her serious demeanor, and they headed forth together, 2 united souls, bridging the vastness of their worlds with heart and strength, prepared for the challenges that awaited. Back in Xyloria, Xylox stood before the Council of Elders once more, the weight of countless memories flooding in. This time, there was a palpable energy that hummed through the room as he spoke, his heart resonating with newfound purpose. "Your mission was a success," the lead elder proclaimed, pride layered on his features. "You have proven yourself worthy." But Xylox felt different, a new layer of himself emerging. "It was not merely a mission," he said, voice steady. "It was an awakening." The elders exchanged looks, curiosity igniting. "What do you mean? What have you learned?" He began recounting his experiences on Earth, every challenge, every moment of combat, and most importantly, the bond he had formed with Emma. "Humans possess something that transcends even the strongest Xylorian warriors, connections driven by love, compassion, and purpose," he admitted, speaking with unwavering fervor. "Your sentiments are uncharacteristic," the lead elder replied, eyebrows raised with intrigue. "I have witnessed the beauty of humanity's strength. They thrive on fight, not just for themselves, but for others. I understand now that a world united is stronger than one divided." The mentor nodded with pride, eyes glistening with understanding. "Perhaps this is a lesson the Council needs to embrace. We have much to learn from those we deem inferior." Meanwhile, back on Earth, Emma received the communication device Xylox had left her. The weight of it felt heavy in her hand, yet her heart soared at the thought of what lay ahead. As dusk fell outside, she glanced at the fading sunlight streaming through her window. What happens next? She wondered aloud, her thoughts drifting toward Xylox and the adventures they could embark upon together. Activating the device, a glowing message flickered to life. Xylox's voice filled the space, vibrating against her skin. "Emma, I will return. Together, we will uncover the threads that connect us. The universe is vast, but our bond, it is infinite." Her heart leapt, a surge of hope flowing through her. They had emerged from darkness into a bond that would navigate the future, weaving their lives together against uncertainty and danger, redefining their fates. With newfound determination, Emma stepped out into the starry expanse above, ready to embrace whatever awaited them. They would face the future together, two souls from different worlds, fueling the flames of adventure, connection, and discovery.